When you hear the word sex, what comes into your mind? Is it pain? Is it pleasure? What actually comes into your mind? Today I want us to talk. What comes into your mind? Welcome to Behind the Curtain. I share tips to facilitate all-round intimacy in marriage. So, I've given you some tips. Hello, welcome to today's edition on Behind the Curtain. I'm your host, Peace Sebastian, and on today's edition, I am going to be sharing some questions with you that can transform your sex life. Yes, it's sex I'm talking about. Don't go away. We'll be right back. There was this day I visited one of my friends, and when I got there, she was tired, she was stressed, and I asked her, "How are you?" And we talked. When we finished talking, I asked her one simple question: "How is your sex life?" And she told me, "We're having it great." I said, "Can I ask your husband?" And she said yes. I asked the man, I said, "Sir, how is the shawarma?" And he said, "What is shawarma?" I said, "Sir, what I mean is, how is your sex life with my friend?" And he said, "If I want to rate it, I will give 2/10. And my friend was shocked. She was surprised. She could not believe her eyes. She was like, not even a pass mark." And I told her, "Babe, cool down. This is a pointer to something. After now, I need you to ask your husband some questions, because that's what will help you." And she was like, no, we are doing it good." I said, "No, he's already saying you're not doing it good. Now, if we didn't have that conversation, she will never have known that the sex she's giving is not satisfying the husband." And so now I want to ask you the same question. You have to have sex with one person in the next how many years of your life? 50 years. For me, I've been having it for 10 years plus now. And when I think of sex, this is what comes into my head. You are giving rice to eat for the rest of your life. What are you going to do about it? My idea is this: you're giving just rice. You need to cook it in variety. You need to cook coconut rice. You need to do jollof rice. You need to do rice and stew. You need to do oil rice. You just need to do variety of rice so that it doesn't get boring and you don't get tired of eating it. That's the same thing that comes with sex. Over and over, doing it the same way might get boring, and you might not be looking forward to it with pleasure. And now, since it's not just something that is about only you, it involves your spouse. I have some questions today that I want you to ask your spouse, and you to sit back and reason the questions out. Ask him to ask you those questions back. It could transform your sex life if you could be honest, and if you could allow your spouse to be honest about it. Don't rush about it. Don't get angry. Just be patient. Hear your spouse out. The first question I want to ask you as a person watching me now is, when you hear the word sex, what comes into your head? Is it pain? Is it pleasure? Now, let's go to your spouse. When was the last time you asked your spouse after you had sex if you enjoyed it or if she enjoyed it? Now, these are some questions you should ask your spouse. Do you enjoy sex with me? Yes, ask your spouse. You think he enjoys it? No, don't just assume that he enjoys it. Ask. Bother to know. Yes. Ask him, do you enjoy sex with me? The other question you should ask him is, when will you want me to touch you? Most times in a stressed out world, we don't really pay attention to sex like that. I was talking to my friend and I asked her, "You've set goals for this year. What's the goal you set to have better sex this year?" And she was like, please, what are you talking about? Setting goals for sex again? Babe, what's your own? Yes, it's very important. We live in a world where we're stressed. you have to get to work, you have to take care of the children, you have to do a whole lot. And if you don't really pay attention to this area of your life, you might not be getting the best out of it, or you might not actually be giving the best of it too. Yes, you might actually not be giving the best of it too. So the next question you should ask your spouse is, what position do you love most? The position he loves or she loves most, you should get interested. Bother to know, ask that question. The next question you should ask your spouse is, how often do you want us to have sex? In a week, how many times do you like us to have sex? I'm sure that kind of question does not come to your mind. The next question you should ask is, do you prefer that I always be the one to initiate sex, or you should always be the one? The next question you should ask is, where do you really prefer us having sex? Is it in the kitchen, in the bathroom, in the parlor, in the room? That leads me to my next question. What time of the day do you really enjoy having sex? You might be having sex every evening and thinking that your spouse actually appreciates having sex every evening. He or she might not really enjoy it. So ask that question. Another question I want you to ask is, ask your spouse this question. Are these sexual fantasies you would like us to do? Are things you would like us to do differently? Where will you like me to touch you? What will you like to do differently? Will you like me to come from the back? Will you like me, the woman, to be on top? Or will you like me to be at a point as a man to be the submissive person? Ask these questions. By the time you open up asking these questions, you have opened up a communication link, and that will help you and it will transform your sex life. Don't just be quiet. Now, sex is not something that only one person should enjoy it. The pleasure should be for the two of you. And you can do it with one person the rest of your life. All you need is to bring in variety. Do different things. Do it in different places. Talk about it. Don't just talk about it when you want to have it in the evening. Talk about it throughout the day. Send your spouse a text message. This night is going to be hot. Yes, send him a text message. Send her a text message. Babe, this evening we are going to have it hot. We are going to rock it down. We are going to have it back to back. Just say something. Have a way of getting your spouse prepared for it. And now, when I talk about sex, I don't take away the place of being kind to your spouse. Don't just jump on your spouse. Be kind to your spouse. Help your spouse with the children. Help your spouse with some things your spouse needs help with. If you're going to have a lovely sex in the evening, start in the morning by helping out, by calling out, by reaching out, by saying I love you. Yes, if you're not used to it, mentally condition your mind to start doing it. Women love to hear that they are loved. So these questions that I have given you today, try to ask your spouse this question. And now don't ask him under pressure. Be loving about it. You could ask one a day, you could ask it casually. Don't make it a very serious thing. Don't just sit down and say, hey, today we want to talk about sex. I have some questions for you. You have to answer me these questions. No, that's not the way to go about it. Just have a way of seducing your spouse to ask the question, and you discover that when you do this, you become more emotionally connected and you become more emotionally intimate. Sex is very, very important. It's something that all married people do, yet married people don't really like talking about it. It could be because of your upbringing or whatever, but try to talk about this thing called sex. If you're having any challenge, you're passing through any issues in your sex life with your spouse, or talking about sex with your spouse, my email is on the screen. You can write to me, call me on the numbers on the screen. Let's talk about it. That relationship, you can take it to the next level. It can get better. You can do it with one person. It's very, very possible. You could actually add variety and make it better. God is interested in your sex life. God is the one that created sex and is interested in it. God bless you. Give this video a thumbs up. Hit the like button. Leave a comment below. Thank you so much. I look forward to seeing you the next time. God bless you.